Hello, welcome to my journey into the media world. We're back again with another match preview. The games do come thick and fast in this Project Restart campaign. Next up for Aston Villa, it's Newcastle away at St James's Park tomorrow evening. I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by Keg from the Magpie Channel. Keg, how are you, mate?
Hi, mate. How are you doing? I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Delighted that football is back on the screens. First of all, mate, I just want to touch on Newcastle season as a whole. I mean, from the outside looking in, it looks like a very successful season. Of course, Steve Bruce was appointed at the start. And from a Villa fan's point of view, I think a lot of us doubted what he could do at Newcastle. Obviously, a previous Aston Villa manager. So what's your thoughts on... it's quite ironic that we're obviously below you and you're obviously doing
Yeah.
a lot better than us this season. So what are your thoughts on the season as a whole?
Up and down, mate. It's hard to condense. It's up and down. As you say, we are doing okay. I think Steve Bruce's expectations have surpassed. Like, he was a very underwhelming appointment for us, especially after having Rafa Benitez. So yeah, we weren't happy. We didn't want him. We wanted somebody better. Particularly when he signed, we didn't have any strikers. Like, we just let Rondon go. We didn't sign. We sold Jose Perez. This was before Joe Linton and Sir Maximin came in, so we thought we're in a serious relegation scrap, like going from Rafa to Bruce. So we were absolutely raging at the start of the season, to be honest. But he surpassed expectations. Some of the football this season, it hasn't been pretty. When we've lost, some games we've been dreadful. There's a number of games where the football's been absolutely shocking. If you look at most of the stats prior to lockdown, we were either rock bottom of the table or at least 19th in the table in terms of possession stats, shots on target, touches in the opposition box, like all the attacking stats. We were
that was
dead
very
last
similar when he
league.
was in charge of Villa.
Yeah, but some games have been okay. You know, we've beat Tottenham away, we beat Man United at home, Chelsea at home. We drew with Man City at home. We beat West Ham away. We've just had a great 3-0 win over 6th place Sheffield United. So, and we're in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup for the first time in 15 years. So, you know, he's had his good moments. He's had his bad moments. Like, on the whole, it's satisfactory. I've seen a lot of people after the Sheffield game saying that he should be in contention for Manager of the Year. Absolutely not. As I say, the bad football has been dreadful. Like, he's done okay. Like, we're happy with where we are. We're sitting in 12th at the minute. Like, if we thought we were going to finish 12th at the start of the season, we'd say you were absolutely crazy. So, yeah, up and down. It's been okay, but, you know, it could have been better, I suppose. Could have been worse.
Yeah, and of course, on to tomorrow's fixtures. And you're coming off the back of a delightful 3-0 win against Sheffield United. As for Aston Villa, we're coming away with a 2-1 loss against Chelsea, where we really didn't know what to make of that performance. It was just a dreadful performance. So from your perspective, if you win, you stay up. From our perspective, it's a must-win in terms of our relegation fight. And also, you'll have an eye on the quarterfinals, like you've mentioned, on the weekend. So where's it rank in terms of importance?
It's huge. We're on 38 points now. I think the target was 40. Everybody says hit that magic 40 mark. So we're only 2 points away. But we are still, in our minds, kind of in that relegation scrap. I think we're far enough away now to get sucked in. So it's not a must-win game. Because if you look at some of our upcoming fixtures, we've got other teams in the relegation battle. We've got Bournemouth next. We've got West Ham afterwards, and we've got Brighton coming up as well. So there's points to be had there. So winning against Aston Villa isn't huge. If you offered me a point now, I would probably take it, as long as our goal going into the weekend is give Man City a really good go in the FA Cup quarter-final and try and actually win something, because we haven't won anything since 1969. So an FA Cup win would be absolutely huge, and Premier League safeties looks pretty certain now. So yeah, it's not a crucial 3 points, but it would definitely help.
Yeah, from our perspective, it is a must-win, and I think that might be the difference between the two sides tomorrow. Of course, you've started off with a 3-0 win, like I've said. What was different And what can we expect from Newcastle tomorrow in terms of tactics? Because when Steve Bruce was in charge with us, we obviously knew what to expect. So what can we expect in terms of the style of play and stuff?
Well, since we actually changed formation, we're unbeaten. So if you went back to the old Steve Bruce, I would say exactly the same as what you did when you beat us. I think it was in November. You already beat us 2-0 at home. And that was it. That was one of the dreadful games of this season. You deserved that win. We were shocking. But he just didn't have any original ideas. He was basically plagiarizing Rafa Benitez's tactic book. And it didn't work. So just before lockdown, we finally changed. We're constantly playing 5 at the back, which is why we didn't have any goals. We're just sitting back. We're okay in the counter-attack, but as I mentioned, we weren't great in the final third. Joe Linton's only just getting his second goal of the season. I think now's a tough time for you to face Newcastle because we are unbeaten in 5 games, I think it is. We played 2 friendly games during lockdown, which we won both of. So we're unbeaten since March, if you can look at it like that. So yeah, it is going to be a tough game for you, I think, but as well, it could be a decent time. As I say, we have got one eye kind of on the FA Cup, so I am expecting Bruce to rotate a little bit. But if we do start our big boys like Saint-Maximin and Almiron, you'll be in for a very, very tough game. I'm fairly confident in getting at least a point, but I think you've got more to play for, so you should be coming up to St James's Park really, really going for it if you want Premier League survival. If you lose, then you might as well throw in the white towel.
Yeah, I really hope that doesn't happen. And in terms of tactics, I don't really know what to expect from Smith because this season has just been terrible in terms of tactics. And, against Chelsea, they just had far too much of the ball. And I hope he changes something and something drastically changes tomorrow in order for us to get a result. You talk about the big name players like Ali Saint-Maximin and Almiron. We're going to have to be on top form. Our defence is absolutely terrible.
Definitely.
So our fullbacks are going to have to be on top form. That brings us nicely on to team news. Do you want to go ahead first and predict your lineup?
Yeah, I've actually just filmed my lineup prediction on our channel. So if you can head over and watch that.
Link will be in the description.
Cheers, man. It's difficult, as I say, with one eye on the FA Cup. I've always said don't change a winning formula. So, yeah, I would like to see the same team that just beat Sheffield, but with one eye on Man City, I wouldn't be surprised. We have got quite a bit of depth. Dubravka will obviously be our goalkeeper. In terms of right back, Javier Manquillo has been our starter since Brucey changed the formation, and he's been outstanding. He was excellent on Sunday. But we also have DeAndre Yedlin and Emil Kraft who are fit. So that may be one change. I've predicted DeAndre Yedlin to start. In terms of centre-back, I think Captain Jamal Lascelles will start, probably alongside Fabian Schär. He's another change that I've made to the other game. Since the formation change, Lascelles has been partnering Federico Fernandez, and we haven't conceded a goal with them two at the back. But I think on paper, Fabian Schär is probably our best centre-back. He's just struggling to get ahead of Fernandez at the minute. So that might be one change that we're looking to make in terms of Man City on Sunday. Danny Rose is our only fit left-back, so I would imagine him starting. In centre-mid, both of the Longstaff brothers are out injured. Isaac Hayden, who's a massively underrated player in the Premier League, he put in an absolute solid shift the other day. So he might be one that might be rested on tomorrow night. And in the middle, we could have John Joe Shelvey and Nabil Bentaleb. The front, I would imagine Joe Linton starting because he's finally started to find a bit of form. He's got his shooting boots on. And without the crowd on his back, I think the pressure's off. I think the crowd gets the better of Joe Linton. So while he's in decent form, I'd continue to start him and hopefully he can look to get his 3rd goal of the season. And in around him, I would imagine to see Saint-Maximin and Almiron start. Whether they play the 90 minutes, I doubt. I hope not. I hope we can have a lead and we're comfortable enough to take them off after about an hour to rest them for Sunday. And on the other side of Saint-Maximin on the wing, possibly Valentino Lazaro on loan from Inter Milan. Matt Ritchie started there on Sunday and was outstanding. But that might be one more change. We haven't really seen a great lot of Valentino Lazaro since coming in off loan. So that could be our lineup.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I'm going to go ahead and predict my lineup now. I really hope that Smith does a change of system. It is really needed. So for me, I'm going to go with a 3-4-1-2 formation, 2 strikers up top. I'm going to go in goal, Oyan Neeland. I mean, it's 50-50 this season between goalkeepers. And of course, we've got the experienced man in Pepe Reina, but I just think Nyland deserves that spot. So yeah, in goal, I'm going to go with Oyan Neeland. Back 3, I'm going to go with Tyrone Mings, Horse, and Konza. Mings is obviously the centre of that defence and shores up our defence. Into the midfield, then I'm going to go with Target on the left. Matty Target, then McGinn. Obviously coming back from injury, I think he'll be a very important player. Be interesting to see how he does after his injury. He's had a couple of games now to bed in, so we'll see how he does. Nakamba is another midfielder. I just think he was decent against Chelsea, so hopefully he can slot into that midfield. And then Gilbert on the right, playing more as an attacking wing back. And then in the middle, of course, the main man, number 10, Jack Grealish. I just think out on the wing, he offers something different. I agree with that. And he gives you that free roam. But then there's other games where he's just totally not in it, like against Chelsea. So in order for us to get the absolute best out of him, in which is a must-win game, then I just think we have to be 100% certain of what we know he's best at. And that is, in my opinion, in the number 10 role, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And
then the 2 strikers up top, I'm going to go with Ali Samatta. Well, these are the only options we've got, really. Ali Samatta and Kieran Davis. I'm really interested to see how these two could work together up top. And, we've had Wesley out injured. But for me, Kieran Davis is sort of the B-Tech Wesley, if that makes sense. So if that can work, then we can get a couple of goals on the score sheet, then that will be delightful for us. So it's a change of system. And I'm hoping that Smith does go with that and he's not stubborn and goes for this standard 4-3-3. We're going to look at starting to wrap things up now. Can I get an all-important score prediction from you?
I would be happy with 1-1, but my prediction will be 2-1 to Newcastle.
Okay, hopefully that's not the result for us from my end. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet. And if it is a change of system, I think, I'm hoping that he's sort of had a couple of days to rethink and we're a revitalised side. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. Hopefully that will be enough in our quest to help us survive. Thank you so much for coming on and having a chat with us, Keg. It's been a pleasure.
Not a problem.
It's been a pleasure to be having a chat with you about all things Newcastle and Aston Villa. And hopefully you're not the one that is celebrating tomorrow night.
Not a problem, mate. Anytime.
Thanks. If you did enjoy the video, guys, be sure to leave a like. I'm doing a lot of content at the moment with football being back and also trying to get out my normal sort of interviews that I'm doing. So if you are new around here, please do hit the subscribe button. It would mean a lot. Leave your thoughts, Aston Villa fans and Newcastle fans, down below on what's going to happen tomorrow night. But until next time, goodbye and up the Villa. Hit the subscribe button and follow my journey to the media world. Click the video choices on screen to see more of my work.